The book of Daniel, chapter 1. In the third year of the reign of Joachim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came to Jerusalem and besieged it. The Lord gave Joachim, king of Judah, into his hand, with some of the vessels of the house of God, and he carried them into the land of Shinar to the house of his God. He brought the vessels into the treasury house of his God. The king spoke to Azaphathah, the master of his conch, that he should bring in some of the children of Israel, even of the royal offspring and of the nobles, youths in whom was no defect, but well favored, skillful in all wisdom, and endowed with knowledge, understanding science, and who had the ability to stand in the king's palace, and that he should teach them the learning and the language of the Chaldeans. The king appointed for them a daily portion of the king's delicacy and of the wine which he drank, and that they should be nourished 3 years, that at its end they should stand before the king. Now, among these of the children of Judah were Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The prince of the Enosh gave names to them. To Daniel he gave the name Belteshazzar, to Hananiah Shadrach, to Mishael Meshach, and to Azariah Abednego. But Daniel proposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the king's delicacies, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuch that he might not defile himself. Now God made Daniel find kindness and compassion in the sight of the prince of the eunuchs. The prince of the eunuchs said to Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who has appointed your food and your drink. For why should he see your face worse looking than the youths who are of your own age? Then you would endanger my head with the king. Then Daniel said to the steward, whom the prince of the eunuch had appointed over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, test your servant, I beg you, 10 days, and let them give us vegetables to eat and water to drink. Then let our faces be examined before you, and the faces of the youths who eat of the king's delicacies. And as you see, deal with your servant. So he listened to them in this matter and tested them for 10 days. At the end of 10 days, their faces appeared fairer, and they were fatter in flesh than all the youths who ate of the king's delicacies. So the steward took away the delicacies and the wine that they were given to drink, and gave them vegetables. Now, as for these 4 youths, God gave them knowledge and skill in all learning and wisdom. And Daniel had understanding in all visions and dreams. At the end of the days which the king had appointed for bringing them in, the prince of the eunuchs brought them in before Nebuchadnezzar. The king talked with them, and among them all was found no one like Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Therefore stood they before the king in every matter of wisdom and understanding concerning which the king inquired of them. He found them 10 times better than all the magicians and enchanters who were in all his realm. Daniel continued even to the first year of King Cyrus. The book of Daniel, chapter 2. In the second year of the reign of Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar dreamed dreams, and his spirit was troubled, and his sleep went from him. Then the king commanded that the magicians, the enchanters, the sorcerers, and the Chaldeans be called to tell the king his dream. So they came in and stood before the king. The king said to them, I have dreamed a dream, and my spirit is troubled to know the dream. Then the Chaldeans spoke to the king in the Syrian language, O king, live forever. Tell your servants the dream, and we will show the interpretations. The king answered the Chaldeans, the thing has gone from me. If you don't make known to me the dream and its interpretation, you will be cut in pieces, and your houses will be made a dunghill. But if you show the dream and its interpretation, you will receive from me gifts, reward, and great honor. Therefore, show me the dream and its interpretation. They answered the second time and said, Let the king tell his servants the dream, and we will show the interpretation. The king answered, I know of a certainty that you are trying to gain time, because you see the thing has gone from me. But if you don't make known to me the dream, there is but one law for you have prepared lying and corrupt words to speak before me until the situation changes. Therefore, tell me the dream, and I will know that you can show me its interpretation. The Chaldeans answered the king and said, There is not a man on the earth who can show the king's matter, because no king, lord, or ruler has asked such a thing of any magician, enchanter, or Chaldeans. It is rare thing that the king requires, and there is no other who can show it before the king except the gods, whose dwelling is not with flesh. Because of this, the king was angry and very furious, and commanded that all the wise men of Babylon be destroyed. So the decree went out, and the wise men were to be slain. They sought Daniel and his companions to be slain. Then Daniel returned answer with counsel and prudence to Aricho, the captain of the king's guard, who had gone out to kill the wise men of Babylon. He answered Aricho, the king captain, Why is the decree so urgent from the king? Then Aricho made the thing known to Daniel. Daniel went in and desired of the king that he would appoint him a time, and he would show the king the interpretation. Then Daniel went to his house and made the thing known to Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, his companions, that they would desire mercy of the God of heaven concerning this secret, that Daniel and his companion would not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision of the night. Then Daniel blessed the God of heaven. Daniel answered, Blessed be the name of God forever and ever, for wisdom and mighty are his. He changes the times and the seasons. He removes kings and sets up kings. He gives wisdom to the wise and knowledge to those who have understanding. He reveals the deep and secret things. He knows what is in the darkness, and the light dwells with him. I thank you and praise you, O God of my fathers, who have given me wisdom and might, and have now made known to me what we desired of you. For you have made known to us the king's matter. Therefore Daniel went into Aricho, whom the king had appointed to destroy the wise men of Babylon. He went and said this to him, Don't destroy the wise men of Babylon. Bring me in before the king, and I will show to the king the interpretation. Then Aricho brought in Daniel before the king in haste, and said this to him, I have found a man of the children of the captivity of Judah, who will make known to the king the interpretation. The king answered Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, Are you able to make known to me the dream which I have seen and its interpretation? Daniel answered before the king and said, The secret which the king has demanded can be shown to the king by wise men, enchanters, magicians, or soothsayers. But there is a God in heaven who reveals secrets, and he has made known to King Nebuchadnezzar what will be in the latter days. Your dream and the vision of your head on your bed are these. As for you, O king, your thoughts came on your bed, what should happen hereafter, and he who reveals secrets has made known to you what will happen. But as for me, this secret is not revealed to me for any wisdom that I have more than any living, but to the intent that the interpretation may be made known to the king, and that you may know the thought of your heart. You, O king, saw and behold a great image. This image, which was mighty and whose brightness was excellent, stood before you, and its appearance was terrifying. As for this image, its head was of fine gold, its chest and its arm of silver, its belly and its thighs of bronze, its leg of iron, its feet part of iron and part of clay. You saw until a stone was cut out without hands, which struck the image on its feet that were of iron and clay, and broke them in pieces. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were broken in pieces together and became like the chaff of the summer threshing floors. The wind carried them away, so that no place was found for them. The stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. This is the dream, and we will tell its interpretation before the king. You, O king, are king of kings, to whom the God of heaven has given the kingdom, the power, the strength, and the glory. Wherever the children of men dwell, he has given the animals of the field and the birds of the sky into your hand, and has made you rule over them all. You are the head of gold. Are you, after you, another kingdom will arise that is inferior to you, and another third kingdom of bronze, which will rule over all the earth. The fourth kingdom will be strong as iron, because iron breaks in pieces and subdues all things. And as that crushes all this, it will break in pieces and crush. Whereas you saw the feet and toes, part of the potter's clay and part of iron, it will be a divided kingdom, but there will be in it of the strength of the iron, because you saw the iron mixed with merry clay. As the toes of the feet were part of iron, part of clay, so the kingdom will be partly strong and partly brittle. Whereas you saw the iron mixed with mere clay, that they will mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they won't cling to one another, even as iron does not mix with clay. In the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom which will never be destroyed, nor will its sovereignty be left to another people, but it will break in pieces and consume all this kingdom, and it will stand forever, because you saw that a stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it broke in pieces the iron, the bronze, the clay, the silver, and the gold. The great God has made known to the king what will happen hereafter. The dream is certain, and its interpretation sure. Then King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face, worshipped Daniel, and commanded that they should offer an offering and sweet odors to him. The king answered to Daniel and said, of a truth, God is the God of gods and the Lord of kings and a revealer of secrets. Since you have been able to reveal this secret, then the king made Daniel great and gave him many great gifts, and made him rule over the whole province of Babylon, and to be chief governor over all the wise men of Babylon. Daniel requested of the king, and he appointed Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. But Daniel was in the king's gate. The book of Daniel, chapter 3, the prayer of Azariah. They walked in the midst of the fire, praising God and blessing the Lord. The Azarian stood and prayed like this. Opening his mouth in the midst of the fire, he said, blessed are you, O Lord, you God of our fathers. Your name is worthy to be praised and glorified forevermore. For you are righteous in all the things that you have done. Yes, all your works are true. Your ways are right, and all your judgments are true. In all the things that you have brought upon us and upon the holy city of our fathers, Jerusalem, you have executed true judgment, for according to truth and justice you have brought all these things upon us because of our sins. For we have sinned and committed iniquity in departing from you. In all things we have trespassed and not obeyed your commandments or kept them. We haven't done as you have commanded us, that it might go well with us. Therefore, all that you have brought upon us and everything that you have done to us, you have done in true judgment. You delivered us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful rebels, and an unjust king, who is the most wicked in all the world. And now we can't open our mouth. Shame and reproach have come on your servants and those who worship you. Don't utterly deliver us up, For your name's sake, don't annul your covenant. Don't cause your mercy to depart from us. For the sake of Abraham, who is loved by you, and for the sake of Isaac, your servant, and Israel, your Holy One, to whom you promised that you would multiply their offspring as the stars of the sky and as the sand that is on the seashore. For we, O Lord, have become less than any nation and are brought low this day in all the world because of our sins. There isn't at this time prince or prophet or leader or burnt offering of sacrifice or oblation or incense or place to offer before you and to find mercy. Nevertheless, in a contrite heart and humble spirit, let us be accepted, like the burnt offerings of rams and bullocks, and like 10,000 of the fat lambs. So let our sacrifice be in your sight this day, that we may wholly go after you, for they shall not be ashamed who put their trust in you. And now we follow you with all our heart. We fear you and seek your face. Put us not to shame, but deal with us after your kindness and according to the multitude of your mercy. Deliver us also according to your marvelous works, and give glory to your name. O Lord, let all those who harm your servants be confounded. Let them be ashamed of all their power and might, and let their strength be broken. Let them know that you are the Lord, the only God, and glorious over the whole world. The king's servant who put them in didn't stop making the furnace hot with naphtha, pitch, tinder, and small wood, so that the flame steamed out 49 cubits above the furnace. It spread and burned those chandeliers whom it found around the furnace. But the angel of the Lord came down into the furnace together with Azarias and his fellows, and he struck the flame of the fire out of the furnace, and made the midst of the furnace as it had been mostly windy, so that the fire didn't touch them at all. It neither burned hot nor troubled them. Then the tree, as out of one mouth praised, glorified, and blessed God in the furnace, saying, Blessed are you, O Lord, you God of our fathers, to be praised and exalted above all forever. Blessed is your glorious and holy name, to be praised and exalted above all forever. Blessed are you in the temple of your holy glory, to be praised and glorified above all forever. Blessed are you who see the depths and sit upon the cherubim, to be praised and exalted above all forever. Blessed are you on the throne of your kingdom, to be praised and extolled above all forever. Blessed are you in the firmament of heaven, to be praised and glorified forever. All you works of the Lord, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O you heaven, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O you angels of the Lord, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O all you waters that are above the sky, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O all you powers of the Lord, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you sun and moon, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you stars of heaven, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O every shower and dew, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O all your winds, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you fire and heat, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you dews and storms of snow, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O you night and day, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you light and darkness, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you cold and heat, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you frost and snow, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you lightning and cloud, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O let the earth bless the Lord, let it praise and exalt him above all forever. O you mountains and hills, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O all you things that grow on the earth, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all things forever. O sea and rivers, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O you springs, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O you whales and all that move in the water, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O you birds of the air, bless the Lord. Praise and exalt him above all forever. O all you beasts and cattle, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you children of men, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O let Israel bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you priest of the Lord, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you servant of the Lord, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you spirit and souls of the righteous, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O you who are holy and humble of heart, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. O Hannah, Mitchell, and Azariah, bless the Lord, praise and exalt him above all forever. For he has rescued us from hate and saved us from the hand of death. He has delivered us out of the midst of the furnace and burning flame. He has delivered us out of the midst of the fire. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy is forever. O all you who worship the Lord, bless the God of gods, praise him and give him thanks, for his mercy is forever. Deliverance from the furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was astonished and rose up in haste. He spoke and said to his councils, didn't we cast 3 men bound into the middle of the fire? They answered the king, true, O king. He answered, look, I see 4 men loose, walking in the middle of the fire, and they are unharmed. The appearance of the fourth is like a son of the gods. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fire furnace. He spoke and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, you servant of the Most High God, come out and come here. Then Shadrach and Meshach and Abednego came out of the middle of the fire. The local governors, the deputies, and the governors, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, that the fire had no power on their bodies. The hair of their head wasn't singled there. Pants were in chain. The smell of fire wasn't even on them. Nebuchadnezzar spoke and said, blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angels and delivered his servant who trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and have yielded their bodies that they might not serve nor worship any god except their own God. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language who speak anything evil against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God who is able to deliver like this. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. The book of Daniel, chapter 4. Nebuchadnezzar the king, to all the peoples, nations, and language who dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. It has seemed good to me to show the signs and wonders that the Most High God has worked towards me. How great are his signs, how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. His dominion is from generation to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thought of my bed and the visions of my head troubled me. Therefore I made decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known to me the interpretation of the dream. Then the magicians, the enchanters, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers came in, and I told them the dream before them, but they didn't make known to me its interpretation. But as the last, Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belteshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. I told the dream before him, saying, Belteshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy God is in you, and no secret troubles you. Tell me the vision of my dream that I have seen. and its interpretation. These were the visions of my head on my bed. I saw and behold a tree in the middle of the earth, and its height was great. The tree grew and was strong, and its height reached to the sky, and its sides to the end of all the earth. Its leaves were beautiful, and it had much fruit, and in it was food for all. The animals of the field had sheltered under it, and the birds of the sky lived in its branches, and all flesh was fed from it. I saw in the vision of my head on my bed, and behold, a watcher and a holy one came down from the sky. He cried aloud and said, "Cut down the tree and cut off its branches, shake off its leaves and scatter its fruit. Let the animals get away from under it and the fowls from its branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of its fruit in the earth, even with a hand of iron and bronze, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of the sky. Let his portion be with the animals in the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, and let an animal heart be given to him. Then let 7 times pass over him. The sentence is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he will, and sets up over it the lowest of men. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen, and you, Bathsheba, declare the interpretation, because all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known to me the interpretation. But you are able, for the Spirit of the Holy God is in you. Then Daniel, whose name was Belteshazzar, was stricken mute for a while, and his thought troubled him. The king answered, "Belteshazzar, don't let the dream or the interpretation trouble you." Belteshazzar answered, "My lord, may the dream be for those who hate you, and its interpretation to your adversary. The tree that you saw, which grew and was strong, whose height reached to the sky, and its side to all the earth, whose leaves were beautiful, and its fruit plentiful, and in it was food for all, under which the animals of the field lived, and on whose branches the birds of the sky had their habitation. It is you, O king, who have grown and become strong. For your greatness has grown and reaches to the sky, and your dominion to the earth, to the end of the earth. Whereas the king saw a watcher and a holy one coming down from the sky and saying, "Cut down the tree and destroy it. Nevertheless, leave the stump of its root in the earth, even with a band of iron and bronze, in the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of the sky. Let his portion be with the animals of the field on the 7 times pass over him." This is the interpretation, O king, and it is the decree of the Most High, which has come on my lord the king, that you shall be driven from men, and your dwelling shall be with the animals of the field. You shall be made to eat grass as oxen, and shall be wet with the dew of the sky. And 7 times shall pass over you, until you know that the Most High God rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whomever he will. Their command to leave the stump of the roots of the trees means your kingdom will be sure to you, after you will have known that the heavens do rule. Therefore, O king, let my counsel be acceptable to you, and break off your sins by righteousness, and your iniquities by showing mercy to the poor. Perhaps there might be a lengthening of your tranquility. All this came on King Nebuchadnezzar. At the end of 12 months, he was walking in the royal palace of Babylon. The king spoke and said, "Is not this great Babylon which I have built for the royal dwelling place, by the might of my power and for the glory of my majesty?" While the word was in the king's mouth, a voice came from the sky saying, O King Nebuchadnezzar, to you it is spoken, the kingdom has departed from you. You shall be driven from men, and your dwelling shall be with the animals of the field. You shall be made to eat grass as oxen. 7 times shall pass over you until you know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men, and gives it to whom he will. This was fulfilled the same hour on Nebuchadnezzar. He was driven from men and ate grass as oxen, and his body was wet with the dew of the sky until his hair had grown like eagles' feathers and his nails like birds' claws. At the end of the day, I, Nebuchadnezzar, lifted up my eyes to heaven, and my understanding returned to me. And I blessed the Most High, and I praised and honored him who lives forever. For his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and his kingdom from generation to generation. All the inhabitants of the earth are reputed as nothing, and he does according to his will in the army of heaven and among the inhabitants of the earth, and no one can stop his hand or ask him, What are you doing? At the same time, my understanding returned to me, and for the glory of my kingdom, my majesty and my brightness returned to me. My counselors and my Lord sought me, and I was establishing my kingdom, and excellent greatness was added to me. Now, I, Nebuchadnezzar, praise and extol and honor the King of heavens, for all his works are right and his ways just, and those who walk in pride he is able to humble. The book of Daniel, chapter 5. King Belshazzar made a great banquet for 1,000 of his princes, and drank wine before 1,000 people. While he was savoring the wine, Belshazzar ordered the gold and silver vessels that his father Nebuchadnezzar had brought from the temple in Jerusalem to be brought to him, so that the king, his princes, his wives, and his concubines could drink from them. Then the golden vessels that had been taken from the temple of the house of the Lord in Jerusalem were brought, and the king and his princes and his wives and concubines drank from them. They drank wine and prayed to the gods of the gold, silver, and bronze, iron, wood, and stone. At that same time, there appeared the fingers of a man's hand writing against the candelabra on the slab of the wall of the king's palace. And the king saw the palm of the writing hand. Then the king's appearance was changed, and his thought troubled him, so that his nails loosed and his nails broke against each other. Therefore the king cried out with a loud voice that they should bring the astrologers, the Chaldeans, and the soothsayers. The king spoke and said to the wise men of Babel, Whoever can read this writing and give me the interpretation of it will be clothed in purple, will have a necklace of gold around his neck, and will be the third ruler of the kingdom. Then all the king's wise men came, but they could neither read the writing nor give the king the interpretation. The king Belshazzar was greatly troubled, and his countenance changed, and his princes were astonished. Now the queen, because of the speeches of the king and his princes, entered the house of the bank, and the queen spoke and said, O king, be at least forever. Do not be troubled by your thought, and do not change your countenance. There is a man in your kingdom in whom is the spirit of the holy gods, and in the days of your father there was in him light, understanding, and wisdom like that of the gods. Nebuchadnezzar the king, your father, I say, made him chief of the enchanters, astrologers, Chaldeans, and soothsayers. For in him was found a more excellent spirit, knowledgeable and understanding. For he expounded the dramas, declared the difficult judgments, and dissolved the doubt. And precisely in Daniel, whom the king called Belteshazzar, now be called Daniel, and he shall declare the interpretation. Then Daniel was brought before the king, and the king spoke and said to Daniel, Are you that Daniel belonging to the sons of the captivity of Judah, whom my father the king brought out of Jerusalem Now I have heard of you that the Spirit of the Holy Ghost is in you, and that in you is found light and understanding and excellent wisdom. Therefore, wise men and astrologers were brought before me that they might read this writing and give me the interpretation of it, but they could not declare the interpretation of the thing. Then I heard of you that you knew how to give interpretations and dispel doubts. Now, if you can reread the scripture and give me the interpretation of it, you will be clothed in purple. You will have a chain of gold around your neck, and you will be the third ruler of the kingdom. Then Daniel answered and said to the king, keep your rewards for yourselves and give your gift to another. But I will deliver the scripture to the king and show him the interpretation of it. O king, listen. The Most High God has given Nebuchadnezzar, your father, a kingdom, a majesty, honor, and glory. Because of the majesty which he gave him, all peoples, nations, and tongues trembled and feared before him. He put to death whom he pleased. He struck down whom he pleased. Whom he pleased he defeated, and whom he pleased he struck down. But when his heart was puffed up, and his mind hardened by pride, he was deposed from his throne as king and took away his honor. He was removed from the sons of men. His heart was made like the heart of beasts, and his dwelling was with wild asses. They fed him with meat like oxen, and his body was battered in the dew of heaven, until he understood that the Most High God rules the kingdom of men and appoints whomever he wills there. You, his son, O Bezalel, did not humble your heart, though you knew all these things, but you rose up against the Lord of heaven, and they brought before you the vessel of his house, and you and your prince and your wives and your concubines drank wine in them, and you prayed to the gods of silk and of gold, of brass, of iron, of wood, and of stone, who do not see nor hear nor understand, and the God in whose hand is your bread, and all your ways you have not glorified him. Then the palm of his hand was sent forth from him, and he wrote this writing. This is the writing that he wrote. Mena mena tekel upharsin. This is the interpretation of the thing. Mena mena, God has named your kingdom and finished it. Tekel, you were put on the scales and were found true light. Perez, your kingdom was destroyed and handed over to Medes and Persians. Then, at Belshazzar's order, they clothed Daniel in purple, but a chain of gold around his neck, and made an announcement about him, saying that he would be the third ruler of the kingdom. The same night, Belshazzar, king of the Chaldeans, was killed. Darius of the Medes took possession of the kingdom at the age of 62. The book of Daniel, chapter 6. It pleased Darius to establish for the kingdom 112 garrisons, which were said to stand over the whole kingdom. And outside of these, 3 rulers, among whom was Daniel, so that the rulers would give them services and the king would have no dominion. Now this Daniel was preferred over the rulers and guidance, because the spirit was excellent in him, and the king thought to put him above all the kingdom. Therefore the leaders and rulers sought an occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find neither occasion nor fault, for he was so faithful that no fault or error was found in him. Then those men said, we will find no occasion against this Daniel, except in regard to the law of his God. Therefore the leaders and these warriors went together to the king and said to him, King Darius, make yourself safe. All the rulers of your kingdom, the officers and governors, the counselors and dukes, consulted together to make a decree for the king and to establish a statute, according to which anyone who petitions a god or a man for 3 days from you, O king, shall be cast out into the dens of lions. Now, O king, confirm the decree and seal the writing, that it may not be changed according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which is not altered. Therefore King Darius sealed the writing and the decree. Now when Daniel understood that he had sealed the writing, he went into his house, and the window of the chamber being open toward Jerusalem, he knelt down 3 times a day and prayed to his God as he did before. Then those men came together and found Daniel praying and making supplication to his God. Then they came and spoke to the king about the king's decree. Have you not sealed the decree that every man who within 30 days makes a request to any god or man, saying to you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which is not altered. Then they answered and said to the king, this Daniel, who is of the children of the captivity of Judah, does not consider you, O king, nor the decree which you have sealed, but makes his petition 3 times a day. When the king heard this word, he was greatly displeased with himself and set out to seek Daniel to deliver him, and he labored until the setting of the sun to deliver him. Then these men gathered before the king and said to him, understand, O king, that the law of the Medians and Persians is that no decree or statute confirmed by the king may be changed. Then the king gave orders, and they brought Daniel and threw him into the den of lions. Now the king spoke and said to Daniel, your God, to whom you always serve, will soon deliver you. A stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his seal and the seal of his prince, so that Daniel's purpose would not be changed. Then the king went into his palace and remained fasting, without any musical instrument being brought before him, and sleep passed over him. Then the king rose early in the morning and went in haste to the city of lions. When he came to the den, he cried with a lament to Daniel, and the king spoke and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of your God who lives, is not your God whom you always serve able to deliver you from the lions? Then Daniel said to the king, O king, stay forever. My God has sent his angel and has shut the mouths of the lions, that they do not do me no harm, for my righteousness had been found out before him, and to thee, O king, have I done no harm. Then the king rejoiced greatly for him, and ordered that they should bring Daniel out of the den. So Daniel was brought out of the den, and no evil was found on him, because he believed in his God. By the king's command, this man who had accused Daniel was brought and thrown into the den of the lions, they, their sons, and their wives, and the lions took hold of them and smashed all the bones to pieces. Or when they came to the enclosure of the den, the king Darius wrote to all peoples, nations, and languages who dwell in all the world, peace be multiplied to you. I decree that in all the dominion of my kingdom, men shall tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the God who lives and abides forever. His kingdom shall not perish, and his dominion shall be everlasting. He saves and delivers. He works signs and wonders in heaven and on earth, and he has delivered Daniel from the power of the Zions. So this Daniel prospered in the region of Darius and in the region of Cyrus of Persia. The book of Daniel, chapter 7. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babel, Daniel had a vision and visions in his head. On his bed, then he wrote down the vision and stated the summary of the matter. Daniel spoke and said, I had a vision by night, and behold, the 4 winds of heaven came up upon the great sea, and 4 great beasts came from the sea, each one different from the other. And the first was like a lion, and had wings of an eagle. I saw until his wings were torn off, and he was lifted up from the earth, and set on his feet like a man, and was given a man's heart. And behold, another beast, which was the second, was like a beast, and stood on one side, and he had 3 ribbons in his mouth between his teeth. And they said unto her, Arise and eat much meat, After this I saw another beast like a leopard, which had 4 wings of a bird on its back. The beast also had 4 heads, and it was given dominion. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, the 4th beast was fearsome, terrible, and very strong. It had great iron teeth. It devoured and tore to pieces and trampled the residue under his feet. And it was similar to the beast before it, for it had 10 horns. And as I considered the horns, behold, there sprung up among them another little horn, before which were 3 of the first horns torn off. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking presumptuously things. And I saw until the thrones were set another, and the ancient of days sat down, whose robe was white as snow, and the hailing of his head like pure wool, and his throne was like a burning flame, and his wheels like blazing fire. A blazing fire went forth and came out from before him. Thousands of thousands attended him, and 10,000 stood before him. Judgment was set, and the books were opened. Then I saw, because of the sight of the presumptuous word which the horn had spoken, I saw until the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and cast into the blazing fire. As for the other beasts, they had taken away their dominion, but their life was prolonged for a certain time and a certain season. As I saw in night vision, behold, one resembling the Son of Man came in the clouds of heaven, and approached the Ancient of Days, and they led him before him. And he gave him a dominion and an honor and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and language might serve him. And his dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall never be taken away, and his kingdom shall never be destroyed. I, Daniel, was troubled in my spirit, in the bowels of my body, and the vision of my head made me restless. Therefore I approached one of those who stood nearby, and asked him the truth of all this. And he told me and showed me the interpretation of these things. These great beasts, which are 4 kings who will arise from the earth. They shall take the kingdom of the saints of the Most High and possess it forever and ever. After this, I would like to know the truth of the 4th beast, which was so different from all the others, very fearsome, whose teeth were of iron, and its nail of brass. It devoured, it tore in pieces, and crushed the rest under its feet. I also learned of the 10 horns that were on her head, and of the other that sprung up, before which 3 fell, and of the horn that had eyes and a mouth that spoke presumptuously things, whose gaze was sturdier than her fellows. I saw that the same horn was beating itself against the saints, yea, and preparing itself against them, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time drew near when the saints possessed the kingdom. Then he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom of the earth, which shall be like unto all kingdoms, and shall destroy all the earth, and shall break it down and tear it in pieces. The 10 horns of the kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and shall be like the first, and shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak words against the Most High, and shall consume the saints of the Most High, and shall think that he can change the times and the laws, and they shall be given into the hands until a time and a time and a time. But he will sit the judge, and they will take away his dominion, to consume and destroy him to the end. And the kingdom and dominion and greatness of the kingdom over all the earth shall be given to the holy people of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all the powers shall serve and obey him. And this is the point of the matter. I, Daniel, have had many thoughts that have troubled me, and my appearance has changed in me, but I have kept the matter in my heart. The book of Daniel chapter 8. In the 13th year of King Belshazzar's reign, a vision appeared to me again to Daniel after the one that had first appeared to me. In vision I saw that I was in the palace of Shanshan in the province of Elam, and in vision it seemed to me that I was by the riverine of Variel. Then I looked and saw that before the river stood a ram with two horns. The two horns were alain, but one was higher than the other, and the highest came last. I saw the ram pushing against the west, against the north, and against the south, so that no animal could stand before him, nor could escape his hand. But he did what he had appointed and became great. While I was considering, behold, a goat came from the west over all the earth, not touching the ground, and this goat had a horn appearing between his eyes. He approached the ram that had the two horns, which I had seen standing by the river, and ran toward it with fierce anger. And I saw him approach the ram, and having confronted him, he struck him and broke his two horns. And the ram had no more strength to resist, but threw him to the ground and trampled him down, and no one could deliver the ram from his power. Therefore the goat became very large, and when it was at its strongest, the great horn was broken off, and because of this, four sprang up, appearing toward the four winds of heaven. Out of one of them came forth a little horn that became very great towards the south, towards the east, and towards the pleasant land. And it increased unto the army of heaven, and cast down to the earth a part of the army and of the stars, and trampled them down, and it exalted itself against the prince of the army, whose daily sacrifice was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down to the ground. He shall be granted a time outside the daily sacrifice for iniquity, and he shall cast down the truth to the ground, and so it shall do and prosper. Then I heard one of the saints speaking, and one of the saints spoke to a certain individual, saying, How long will the vision of the daily sacrifice and the iniquity of desolation last to destroy the sanctuary and the army? He answered, Until sunset and morning, 2,300. Then the sanctuary will be closed. When I, Daniel, had seen the vision and tried to understand its meaning, behold, there stood before me the silhouette of a man. Between the banks of the villa, I heard the voice of a man calling and saying, Gabriel, let this man understand the vision. So he came to where I was, and when he came, I was frightened and fell on my face. But he said to me, Understand, son of man, for in the last time there will be vision. While he was speaking to me, I had slept, fell down with my face to the ground. But he touched me and put me back in my place. And he said, Behold, I will show you what will take place in the last day, in the last wrath. For at the end of the appointed time it will come. The ram that you saw with two horns is the king of the Medians and Perez. The Ruabak is the king of Greece, and the great horn between his eyes the first king. The one who was broken and of whom four kingdoms remain standing is four kingdoms that will remain standing of the nation, but not in its strength. At the end of the reign, when the rebels are consumed, there will stand up a king of fierce appearance and dark judgment. His power will be mighty, but not in his strength. He will wonderfully destroy, prosper, exalt himself, and destroy the mighty and the holy people. By his policy he shall prosper cunningly in his hand. He shall exalt himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also oppose the prince of princes, but he shall be put down without escape. The vision of the morning and the evening, which has been declared, is true. Therefore follow the vision, for it will be after many days. Daniel was shrinking and sick some days. But when I rose up, I did the king's bidding and was amazed at the vision, but no one understood it. The book of Daniel, chapter 9. In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the line of Medes, who was made king outside the kingdom of the Chaldeans, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood from the books the name of the years of which the Lord had spoken to the prophet Jeremiah, that he would be 70 years old in the desolation of Jerusalem. I turned to the Lord God and sought with prayers and supplication, fasting, sackcloth, and ashes. I prayed to the Lord my God and made my confession, saying, Lord God, you are great and fearful, and you keep favor and mercy towards those who love you and towards those who keep your commands. We have sinned, we have committed iniquity and acted wickedly. Yea, we have rebelled and departed from your precepts and your decrees, because we would not obey your servants, the prophets, who spoke in your name to our kings and our princes, our fathers, and all the people of the land. O Lord, to you belongs righteousness, and to you shame, as it appears this day to all the men of Judah and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to all Israel from near and far, in all the countries from which you brought them out, because of their sins which they have committed against you. O Lord, for our kings and our princes and our fathers, the shame is open, because we have sinned against you. Yet the Lord our God has compassion and forgiveness, even though we have rebelled against him. For we have not obeyed the will of the Lord our God to walk according to his laws, which he had already promulgated through his servants, the prophets. Yea, all Israel has transgressed your law, turned back and not heard your message. Therefore the curse is upon us and upon all that is written in the law of Moses, God's servant, because we have sinned against him. He has confirmed his words which he spoke against you and against our judges who judge you, causing a great plague to come upon you. For in all the land there was no such thing as was brought upon Jerusalem. All this plague came upon us as it is written in the law of Moses. Yet we did not make our prayer before the Lord our God to turn away from our iniquities and understand your truth. Therefore the Lord has prepared the plague and brought it upon us, because the Lord our God is righteous in all his work which he does, because he would not listen to this message, to his message. Now, O Lord our God, who brought your people out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand and brought you to the life again, as it appears today, we have sinned, we have acted wickedly. O Lord, according to all your righteousness, I beseech you, turn away your wrath and your fury from your city, Jerusalem, your holy mountain. For because of our sins and the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem and your people are a reproach to all who are around. Now, therefore, O our God, hear the prayer of your servant and his supplication, and let your face shine upon your sanctuary, which lies forsaken for the Lord's sake. O my God, incline thy ear and hear. Open thy eyes and see our desolation, and the city wherein thy name is called. For we present not our supplications before thee for our own righteousness, but for thy great and tender mercies. Hear, O Lord, forgive, O Lord, consider and execute. Do not delay for your sake, O my God, for your name is called upon your city and upon your people. As I spoke and prayed and confessed my sin and the sin of my people Israel, I presented my supplication to the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God. While I was speaking in prayer, behold, the man Gabriel, whom I had seen before in vision, came flying and touched me towards the hour of the initial oblation. He informed me and spoke with me and said, O Daniel, I have come to give you knowledge and understanding. At the beginning of your supplication, the order has come, and I have come to explain to you, because you are greatly troubled. Therefore, deepen the mind out and consider this vision. 70 weeks have been appointed for you people and for your holy city, to put an end to iniquity, to remove sins, to reconcile unrest, to introduce eternal righteousness, to confirm vision and prophecy, and to proclaim the most holy. Therefore, know and understand that from the beginning of the order to bring back the people and to build Jerusalem until Messiah, the Prince, 72 weeks and 62 weeks will pass, and the road will be built again, and the walls in a hard time. And after 62 weeks, Messiah shall be slain, and shall have nothing, and the people of the Prince who is to come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and its end shall be with a flood, and until the end of the battle it shall be destroyed by desolation. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for a week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease, and by the spreading of the abominations he shall make it desolate until the consummation which shall be imposed upon the desolation. The book of Daniel, chapter 10. In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a thing was revealed to Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar. And the word was true, but the appointed time was long. He understood the thing and had the understanding of the vision. At the same time, I, Daniel, was in prison for 3 weeks of days. I did not eat pleasant bread, nor did meat or wine enter my mouth, nor did I anoint myself at all, until 3 weeks of days were fulfilled. On the 4th and 12th day of the first month, as I stood by the side of that great ruler, that is Hezekiah, I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine gold of vase. His body was like crystal, his face to look at like lightning, his eyes like lamps of fire. His arms and feet were the color of polished brass, and the voice of his word was like the voice of a multitude. I, Daniel, alone spoke the vision, for the men who were with me did not speak the vision. But great fear fell upon them, so that they fled and hid themselves. Therefore I remained alone. I spoke this great vision, and no strength remained in me, for my strength had turned to corruption, and I had no power. Nevertheless, I had the sense of his word, and when I heard the sense of his word, I fell asleep on my face, and my face was turned toward the ground. And behold, a hand touched me, causing me to fall upon my knees and the palms of my hands. And he said to me, O Daniel, a highly esteemed man, understand the words that I say to you and stay in your place, for to you I have been sent. And when he said these words to me, I stood trembling. Then he said to me, Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand and to humble yourself before your God, your words have been heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia kept me for a day and 20. But behold, Michael, one of the most important princes, came to help me, and I stayed there with the kings of Persia. Now I have come to show you what will happen to your people in the last days, for the vision still lasts many days. When he said these words to me, I put my face to the ground and held my tongue, and behold, one similar to the sons of man touched my lips. Then I opened my mouth and spoke and said to him who stood before me, O my Lord, because of the vision, my sorrows have come upon me again, and I have no strength. For how can the servant of this my Lord speak to my Lord being such? As for me, by the straight way I have no more strength and no more breath. Then he came again and touched me, one who had the appearance of a man, and he strengthened me and said, O man, greatly diminished, fear not. Peace be with you, be strong and of good courage. And when he had spoken to me, I straightened myself and said, Let my Lord speak, for you have strengthened me. Then he said, Do you know why I have come to you? But now I will return to fight with the prince of Persia. And when I have departed, behold, the prince of Greece will come. But I will show you what is set forth in the scriptures of truth. And there is no one who agrees with me in these things but Michael, your prince. The book of Daniel, chapter 11. I also, in the first year of Darius of the Medes, set out to encourage and strengthen him. Now I will show you the truth. Behold, there will still be 3 kings in Persia, and the fourth will be far richer than all of them. And with his strength and riches, he will push everyone against Greece. But a mighty king will arise, who will rule with great dominion and do what pleases him. When he shall stand, his kingdom shall be broken up, and he shall be delivered to the 4 winds of heaven, and not for his posterity, nor according to his dominion, which he ruled. For his kingdom shall be torn away, to be destined for others beside those. And the king of the south shall be the mightiest, and one of his princes, and shall prevail over him. And he shall be ruler, and his dominion shall be a great dominion. And at the end of the years they shall come together, because the daughter of the king of the south shall come to the king of the north to make an agreement. But she shall not put off the power of the army, neither shall he continue, nor his army, but she shall be condemned to death, as well as those who brought her, and those who begot her, and those who comforted her in these times. But from the brood of her root shall arise one in her stead, who shall come with an army, and shall enter into the fortresses of the king of the north, and do with them what he wills, and shall prevail. And he shall carry their gods with their molten images, and with their precious objects of silk and gold to Egypt. And he shall stay longer than the king of the north. The king of the south shall return to his kingdom, and return to his own country. Therefore his sons shall stir and gather a great army. One shall come and go out and pass through. Then he shall return and stay in his fortress. And the king of the south shall be angry, and shall come with fight with him, even with the king of the north, for he shall put forth a great multitude, and the multitude shall be in his hand. Then the multitude will be proud, and their hearts will be lifted up. For he will strike down thousands, but he will not yet prevail. For the king of the north will return and put forth a greater multitude than before, and he will come after certain years with a mighty army and great riches. At the same time, many will oppose the king of the south. Even the rebellious sons of your people will exalt themselves to establish the vision, but they will fall. Then the king of the north will come and will throw himself on a mountain and will take the strong city, and the armies of the south will not resist, nor will his chosen people, nor will there be strength to resist. But he that cometh shall do as he will, and none shall stand against him. And he shall stand in the pleasant land, which by his hand shall be consumed. And he shall set forth to go in with the strength of all his kingdom and his confederates. So he shall do, and shall give him the daughter of the women to destroy her, but she shall not be on his side, and shall not be for him. After this he shall turn his face towards the isles and take many. But a prince shall cause his own shame to turn upon him, as well as cause his own shame to turn upon himself. For he shall turn his face towards the fortresses of his country. But he shall be overthrown, and shall fall, and shall not be found. Then shall arise in his place, in the glory of the kingdom, one who shall raise taxes, but after a few days he shall be destroyed, neither by rod nor by battle. In his place shall arise a vile person, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceable, and shall make himself obey the kingdom by flattering. The armies shall be overthrown like a flooded river before him, and they shall be broken, as well as the prince of the counters. After the league made with him, he will act deceitfully, for he will show up and go out with a small people. He will enter a quiet and rich province and do what his father never did, nor his fathers. He will distribute among them prayers, spices, and substances, and he will make his predictions against the fortresses, though for a time. Moreover, he shall incite his power and his courage against the king of the south with a great army. And the king of the south shall be incited to fight with a very great and mighty army, but he shall not resist, because they shall foresee and exert themselves against him. Yea, they had feared, they that feed on the portion of his food shall destroy him, and his army shall overflow, and many shall fall and be slain. The hearts of these two kings will be strained to do evil, and they will speak deceit at the table, but it will not be possible. For the end will come at the appointed time. Then he will return to his country with great substance, but his heart will be against the holy covenant. So he would do and return to his country. At the appointed time he shall return and come to the south, but the last shall not be as the first. For the ships of Shittim shall come against him, and he shall be grieved, and shall return and shall rage against the holy convent. So he shall do and shall return and have intelligence with them that forsake the holy convent. The armies will take his side and pollute daily sacrifice, and pollute the sanctuary of strength, take away the daily sacrifice, and set up an abominable desolation. Those who violate your covenant will be induced to sin by flattery, but the people who know their God will be in health and prosper. Those who understand among the people will instruct many, but they will fall by sword and flame into captivity and run for many days. When they fall, they shall be helped with little, but many shall be delivered with difficulty. Some of the most intelligent shall fall to judge them, to purify them, and to make them white until the time is past. For there is an appointed time. The king will do what he has listed. He will exalt himself and magnify himself against all those who are God. For he will say martial things against the God of gods, and he will prosper until the wrath is accomplished, for the decision is made. He will not heed the God of his fathers, nor the desires of women, nor will he care for any god, for he will magnify himself over all. But instead he shall honor the god Mazumi, and the god whom his father did not know. He shall honor him with gold and with silver, with precious stones and with pleasant things. So shall he do in the land of Muzini with a foreign god whom he shall acknowledge. He shall increase his glory and make them ruler over many, and he shall lay your hands as a mine of gold. And at the end of the time, the king of the south shall push him, and the king of the north shall come against him like a wild wind, with chariots, horsemen, and many ships. And he shall enter into your land, and shall go out of it and pass through it. He will also enter the pleasant land, and many countries will be defeated, but these will escape from his hand, as Edom and Moab and the chief of the sons of Ammon. He will also stretch out his hand over the countries, and the land of Egypt will not escape, but he shall have power over the treasuries of gold and silver, and over all the precious things of Egypt, and of the Libyans, and of the black Moors, where he shall pass by. But the tidings from the east and the north shall trouble him. Therefore he shall depart with great wrath to destroy and drive out many. And he shall plant the tabernacle of his palace among the seas, in the glorious and holy mountain. But he shall come to his end, and no one shall help him. The book of Daniel, chapter 12. At that time, Michael, the great prince who defends the children of your people, will rise up, and there will be a time of trouble. such as there has never been since a nation was born until that time. And at that time your people will be eliminated, all who are written in the book. Many of those who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to eternal life, others to shame and perpetual contempt. Those who are wise will shine like the light of the firmament, and those who convert many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. But you, O Daniel, close the walls and seal the book until the end of time. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall increase. Then I, Daniel, looked, and behold, there stood two others, the one on the side of the brink of the river, and the other on the other side of the brink of the river. And one said to the man clothed in linen, who stood on the waters of the river, when will these wonders end? And I heard the man clothed in linen standing upon the waters of the river, as he held his right hand and his left hand upward, and swore by him that liveth forever, that this shall last for a time, 2.5 times. And when he shall have finished scattering the power of the holy people, all these things shall be finished. I heard it, but I did not understand it. And I said, Oh, my Lord, what will be the end of these things? And he said, Go your way, Daniel, for your words are closed and sealed until the end of time. Many will be cleansed, whitened and tested, but the wicked will act wickedly, and none of the wicked will have understanding, but the wise will understand. From the time when the daily sacrifice will be taken away, and the abominable desolation will be put in place, 1,290 days will pass. Blessed is he who waits and comes to the 1,350 days. But go thy way to the end, for at the end of the days thou shalt rest and abide in thy Lord.